to Miami now. Jeff Dudas standing by from underwatertimes.com with a few stories from there. Hello, Jeff. How you doing? Oh, we might have lost to Jeff. Oh, Jeff, sorry. There you go. Here we got you now. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
Good. Bit of a still to start, but in we go. First story is about eyes, big eyes, that is.
The biggest eyes in the animal kingdom, and these belong to giant and colossal squid. And by themselves, these are very large creatures. And what's unusual about them is how big their eyes are, in relation to their body. Their eyes, to give you an idea, it's about the size of a dinner plate, which is about 10 or 11 inches. No other animal that we know of has eyes this big. And this sort of has, scientists were wondering about this. Why are these eyes so big in relation to their body size? And they started putting this sort of eyesight and such into computer models and modeling it out and trying to figure out this problem of, or just basically this mystery. And, sort of the results they came up with, sort of an average-sized creature, if you sort of scale it up, they say, well, for the size of this squid, should have an eye about the size of an orange, about 3 inches.
Yeah.
And so that was sort of even more puzzling. And so they're trying to figure out why. And because if you have bigger eyes, it's sort of evolutionarily speaking, it's more expensive and more difficult to maintain. So there must be a great reason. And so what they figured out is, among other things, they know these squid battle sperm whales. They're in this epic battle going beneath the seas. These giant sperm whales are hunting these squid, and the squid are fighting them off. And they know this because they've seen sperm whales with all these tentacles and scars on them from the battles. And so what they think is going on is they develop these giant eyes to see the sperm whales underwater, and they think they're seeing them. This is going on, way deep in the ocean where there's almost no light.
Yeah.
And they think the sperm whales kick up bioluminescence, and they have these big eyes, the squid, to see that bioluminescence sort of swirling around. And not only see them, but they think, once they see them, they're able to, because they have such big eyes, to sort of evade and get away from them.
Amazing. Amazing how they've evolved that way, just for those reasons.
Yeah, and that's no other reason they can figure out. And, they said, if you have an eye this big, you can actually see very well. A creature also very big and in the distance. They said otherwise, you could have a small eye and you could see a smaller creature or a creature your own size. But for this giant battle, they've evolved.
Amazing. All right, our next story involves sharks and the effect warm water is having on sharks.
Sharks are in trouble for a variety of reasons, finning and such, and they normally breed fairly slowly. But scientists have noted in recent years, and this is a story out of Australia, Australian researchers say warmer water is making the sharks have more sex.
Wow.
They're breeding at increasing rates, which maybe is not a good thing, probably is a good thing, considering the pressure they're under. But they're also interbreeding with other sharks, which is, as sharks go, which is really unusual. And they think, too, maybe that they're responding to the warmer currents and maybe less food and such, and they're just having more sex. So.
And, I mean, the waters haven't been, warming all that long, though, have they, either? So this is a pretty quick way to respond.
Yeah, and so this is, they're still trying to figure this out. As currents shift, I mean, you sort of have microclimates and macroclimates in the oceans. Some parts of the ocean stay the same, others get warmer. But at least I think around Australia, they've seen some warmer currents, and with that, the sharks breed faster.
All right. Well, final story. James Cameron is set for a pretty deep dive.
Yeah, this is an interesting story. It's sort of the rich and famous are picking up an old theme of exploration, the deep ocean, which we're talking the Mariana Trench, which is in the Pacific. It's the deepest part in the ocean. It's 7 miles down. I think it's about 36,000 feet down. And actually, more men have been on the moon than actually have visited this spot. There's only two people. In 1960, a Swiss engineer and a U.S., I believe he was a Navy captain, went down in a submarine to the Mariana Trench for 20 minutes in 1960, and those are the last humans to visit that. They've had unmanned subs go since. So now James Cameron. I'll get to Branson in a second. Cameron, who you know from Avatar, has developed this one-man submarine. So he's going to go visit. Go 7 miles down for I think they said 6 hours, and visit this place and sort of be the first one to go there in 50 years. And Eric Schmidt, the Google CEO, the ex-Google CEO, is developing his own submarine. Is going to do this. And also Sir Richard Branson's going to give it a shot too in his own submarine. So
it's got to be pretty brave.
Everybody's going now.
I mean, they throw a lot of money at it, of course, to make it as safe as possible. But you're still got to be pretty brave, nerves of steel.
Yeah, this is they call it the most hostile, most remote environment on Earth. I mean, just the pressure's incredible. If you have any trouble down there, basically at 7 miles, if you've all seen the submarine movies, the military subs when they start sinking and crunching and such.
Yeah.
But that's about at 800 feet. Think about it, 36,000 feet. The pressure basically, any problems, you're just instant. You just implosion and it's over. So it's quite risky.
Yeah, and I imagine he will be turning that into some kind of film. Cameron,
so that's the other thing. He's taking cameras down. So this is supposed to be a National Geographic special. 3D cameras are going down to film this, and hopefully the cameras survive too, because that's something else that can go wrong. But so it should be interesting. So this is happening soon. So we should hear more and more about this in the coming weeks and months.
Cool, and you'll be able to read all about it up at underwatertimes.com, those stories and a whole lot more. Jeff Dudas has been with us in Miami. Thanks very much, Jeff.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Miley Manzan.